and welcome back to my channel to a brand new video. So today's video is going to be talking about exercise in recovery. Should you exercise? How much should you exercise? Is exercise good in recovery? Is exercise bad in recovery? And it's just a topic that many people have been asking me on, and many people have been asking my views on it, because I feel like it's something that is extremely not personal, but I feel like it's really everyone to their own kind of thing, in that you can't speak for another person, that you can only speak for yourself and your own experiences, because everyone is different and everyone's eating disorders are also different. Like, no two eating disorders are alike, I would say, because like I mentioned before, having an ED is like having a different person with you, and that different person, no one's going to have the same person, to be honest. You can have similar kind of experiences, you can have similar kind of traits or whatnot, but it's definitely not the same for everyone. So exercise. Do I exercise? Me personally, no, I don't. But the reason I don't do that is because I've had a past of excessive exercising. If you watched my anorexia story, you will already know that I had a really bad time with over exercising, and I would exercise an extreme amount to compensate for food, basically, and that is a reason why I don't feel like right now it's a good idea to start exercising again. So I still go out for basic exercise. I still go out for like walks with my dog, or if I'm going to walk to the shop, then I walk to the shop or whatnot. I still do basic exercise, and if I wanted to go on a bike ride, I go on a bike ride, but I would make sure that I ate enough calories for the day. I wouldn't be doing it to compensate for food. And if you are doing exercise to compensate for food, then it is completely toxic and you should not do it. Just sit down and ask yourself, am I doing this because I actually genuinely enjoy the exercise, or am I literally forcing myself to do this exercise to compensate for the food I've just ate? And if you are sitting there and you're realizing that you are doing it and you don't actually want to do it, then it's definitely disordered and you need to stop. And I know it's not as simple as just stopping, because honestly, I exercised right the way up until I think around September maybe this year or something. I was still doing really basic exercises, and although they weren't full force cardio exercises, they were still exercises that I was forcing myself to do when I didn't want to do them. Obviously, I've also had experience with cardio, and that was the worst experience ever, because I remember being at an extremely low weight and I could literally feel heart palpitations, but I would still be doing like weird cardio and stuff, and it just wasn't good at all for my body, and I was forcing my body to do it because I knew if I didn't want to do it, but I just didn't know how to stop, because it just felt like I was compelled to do it. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest here, that I got to a point where I just got completely sick of it, where I would do the same routine every single day. For some reason now, I still wake up at 6 a.m. and it's not to do the exercise. It used to be, but not anymore. But my brain still wakes me up to try and be like, do some exercise. And it's so weird and it's so frustrating, because I still get them thoughts every single day to do them. The difference is that you can sit with thoughts, or you can act on thoughts. And if you act on them thoughts, then that famous quote of whatever, actions have consequences, because they do. And if you give in to that voice and you give in to doing the exercises that you don't want to do, then unfortunately you're just giving in to your ED, and you're just going to be stuck in the same routine non-stop. So some of the exercises that I used to do, unfortunately, was I would do, obviously I used to do cardio, but I completely cut that out. And then when I was meant to go on strict bed rest or whatnot, when Cam's pulled me out of school and Edith pulled me out of school, I also still did cardio. Then I went to stupid leg workouts, because my legs were my main self-conscious place, you could say, and I was really concerned about losing my thigh gap, that I would do like stupid squats that would like stand in the squat position for like an insane amount of times, literally for an hour standing in a squat position. Do you know how painful that is? And I would do that every single morning, and I remember being exhausted. I remember being sick, and I would still do it because I just felt so compelled to, and I was just concerned that what happens if I stop for one day. I feel as if it was stupid because inside my head, deep down, I feel like I knew that what would happen if I stopped for one day. Nothing would happen, but I would be convinced by my ED that something will happen, and that would scare me so much. But one day, I think it was before I went on holiday, I think it was, I just decided, I was like, well, when I go on holiday, I can't exercise because I won't be able to. Like, there isn't a place for me to exercise, and if I do exercise, then people will probably realize, and people will probably stop me, obviously, and people will be like, what are you doing? So I knew from well that I would have to give up exercise for this week. And then when I gave up exercise for that week, I was like, actually, you know what? This is 100 times better. I'm not forcing myself to do anything. And I kind of just stopped it. But as straight as I try to do anything, like, this goes for pretty much anything. I am so much I'm really able to make routines and stuff like that really quickly. Like, I can grasp on to something really quickly, but then find it extremely difficult to break it. So it could take just one day to make a new compulsion kind of thing, and then it could take a year or something to break it from me. But that's just like ED and stuff like that. That's how disordered it is, and that's how difficult it is. So I recommend that if you want to stop exercising, then you make you put yourself in a position where you're unable to exercise. So if that means take a break, go to maybe your sister's house, someone you know houses, or like maybe a friend's house for a sleepover kind of thing, or just put yourself in a position where you'll be unable to do exercise. And although you might be stressed and you might start like being all, I don't know, really angry and stuff like that, just try and sit or try and distract yourself from thoughts. That is the main key thing in recovery, is distraction. Distract yourself by going out, maybe shopping, and maybe, I know that you're probably like, well, that's still exercise because you're still walking. Yes, I know, but it's still distraction because it's not as bad as doing like cardio non-stop or whatever you're doing. But honestly, I would say that, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, that no two people are alike, and people are at different stages in recovery with the eating disorder. And say if you're at extremely low weight, I recommend no like exercise whatsoever. Go strict on bed rest. And I know you're like, I know, but I feel like I want to tone up and gain muscle or whatever like that when you're gaining weight. Listen, your body can't handle it because your body is still eating away at your heart because of being at such a low weight, that it will just keep eating away your muscle, and there is not going to be muscle to tone because you don't have any, and your body is actually eating away all of your muscle and will start eating away at your heart, and then sooner or later you die. As blunt as that sounds, that's what happens. So you cannot exercise at an extremely low weight. At pretty much any time being underweight, you shouldn't exercise whatsoever. Maybe when you start nearing that range of becoming a healthy weight, and if you want to exercise for the thingy of toning or whatnot, and just make sure though that you are exercising for the fact that you want to exercise and not for the fact of compensating or anything like that. Just make sure that you are exercising because you want to and not your ED. And it's extremely difficult to tell apart your ED and you when you're in a very disordered mindset. But if you are deep in your ED and are either at the beginning of recovery, then do not exercise. I don't think anyone should exercise in the beginning of recovery. And I think that you really grasp on to stuff really quickly, and you might become compelled to exercise all the time, unfortunately, like me. So yeah, that is my thoughts and my kind of a bit of advice on exercise And I think that everyone is to their own, and I think that deep down everyone knows what's right and what's wrong. Even if you are an extremely disordered mindset, I feel like you're still able to know that if you are wanting to do this, or if your ED wants to do this. And although your ED might convince you so much to do this, I think deep down you know that you don't want to do this, and you can stop whenever you want. You are the one in control, and you are the one with your brain, and you are the one who controls it. Not your ED, not your sister, not your mom, not your dad, you. It's up to you whether or not you change things. It's up to you whether or not you move forward in your recovery. So I hope this video helped you, and I hope this video motivated you maybe a little bit. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope this video helped you in some ways. Thank you.